I'll keep the emotional tone, simplify the language, refresh the wording, and preserve the long-form style. Because the script is very long, I'll provide it in parts so the volume and pacing are not reduced. Before you move on, stay here for a moment. This message did not appear in your life by accident. It is for the person who has been strong for a long time, the person who stayed quiet even when their heart was carrying so much, the person who kept going while feeling tired in ways others could never fully see. There is someone who does not look at you like a problem to solve, a reward to win, or a temporary feeling that will disappear with time. They look at you and feel something much deeper. They sense the person behind your smile. They notice the strength behind your silence. They feel a natural desire to stand beside you, support you, and bring comfort to the parts of your life where you have been carrying everything alone. Maybe you have wondered if a love like this is real. Maybe you have questioned whether someone can truly understand you without needing you to explain every pain, every fear, and every hidden struggle. Stay with these words because what comes next may reach a part of your heart that has been waiting for understanding for a very long time. Many people will scroll away. Many people avoid messages that force them to look deeper into themselves. But if you are still here, pay attention. Something inside you connected with these words. And by the time you finish this message, you may begin to see your own journey, your own healing, and your own future with a different kind of hope. The kind of love we are talking about does not arrive with noise. It does not demand attention. It does not need to prove itself to everyone around you. It comes quietly. But when it is real, it creates a powerful change. It brings peace where there was confusion. It brings comfort where there was loneliness. It brings understanding where there was silence. If you have been tired of relationships that leave you feeling empty and you want to understand the difference between a connection that hurts you and a connection that helps you grow, listen carefully. This may be the part you have been waiting to hear. This person wants a future with you, but not because of shallow reasons, not because of appearances, not because of what you can offer them. Not because they are searching for someone to fill a missing piece inside themselves. They want to build a life with you because something about your heart touches them deeply. They notice everything you have survived. They notice the battles you never talk about. They see the calm expression you show the world, the gentle way you speak, and the courage you carry even on the days when everything feels heavy. And instead of being afraid of those parts of you, they feel closer to you because of them. They are not drawn to your pain. They are drawn to your strength. They respect the person you became after everything you faced. Their care grows because the more they understand you, the more they appreciate the depth of who you are. This is not a love that needs constant attention or public approval. It is a steady kind of love, a quiet kind of commitment, a love that continues even when nobody else is watching. They notice your happiness, but they also notice your silence. They notice the moments when you say, "I'm fine," but something in your eyes tells a different story. They notice the small changes in your mood. They recognize when you are trying to stay strong while secretly feeling exhausted. And inside their heart, the same thought keeps returning. They want to be the person who gives you a place to finally rest. They want to be someone who helps you carry what you have carried alone for so long. If these words are touching something inside you, stay with me, because there is a deeper truth ahead. When they imagine a life with you, they are not only thinking about beautiful moments, they are not only imagining celebrations, pictures, or the moments everyone else sees. They imagine real life. They imagine ordinary mornings when you wake up feeling tired. They imagine difficult days when old memories return. They imagine moments when stress feels overwhelming and you need someone who will not walk away. They want to be there not only when life feels easy, but also when life becomes difficult. They want to stand beside you through uncertain seasons, through challenges, through moments of healing, and through the days when you need patience more than anything else. They dream of a relationship built on trust, honesty, kindness, and a deep understanding that comes from truly seeing another person. Stay until the end, because this is where many people misunderstand love. Real love is not about finding someone perfect. It is about finding someone who sees your imperfections and still chooses to stay. This person does not want to rescue you as if you are broken. They do not see you as someone who needs to be fixed. They see your courage. They see your ability to keep your heart open even after difficult experiences. They see someone who remained kind in a world that was not always kind to them. That truth affects them deeply. They are moved by the way you continue forward. They admire the strength you rarely talk about. They recognize the effort behind your smile and the courage behind your patience. And if you have ever felt unseen, remember this part because it matters. Someone who truly cares does not only notice your bright moments, they notice the hidden weight you carry too. I can continue with the remaining sections in the same format and length. It looks past the outside and connects with the person you truly are inside. They do not want to marry you because they want to gain something from you. They do not see you as a prize to win or an accomplishment to show others. They are not trying to own your love, control your choices, or treat your relationship like something they can display. What they desire is much more meaningful than that. They want to care for you. They want to protect the gentle parts of your heart that the world may not always understand. They want to help reduce the weight you carry without ever making you feel ashamed for being strong for so long. Their love does not move quickly without thought. It is not based on temporary emotions or sudden excitement. It moves with purpose. It understands that healing takes time. It understands that trust is created slowly through consistent actions. It understands that old pain does not disappear because of one conversation or one beautiful promise. So they are willing to be patient. They are willing to remain present. They are willing to prove through their actions what words sometimes fail to express. I am here. I see you. I am staying. You do not have to handle every burden alone anymore. And remember this because it is one of the most important parts. They are not trying to remove your independence. They are not uncomfortable with your confidence or your ability to stand on your own. Actually, your strength is one of the reasons they feel connected to you. They admire the way you survived difficult chapters. They admire the way you continued caring even after experiencing disappointment. They admire the courage it took for you to believe in love again after moments that made you question it. That is why their love is not built around control or competition. It is built around teamwork. They want to walk beside your strength, not stand over it. They want to support your journey, not replace it. And if you have ever experienced a relationship that made you feel smaller, invisible, or unheard, then you understand why this kind of connection feels so different. This person notices things that many people overlook. Most people only focus on what they can see. They notice your actions. They watch what you do. They respond to what is obvious. But this person pays attention to what exists underneath. They listen to your emotions. They recognize changes in your energy. They understand the feelings behind your words. They notice when your voice sounds slightly different. They recognize the sadness hidden inside a simple sentence that others may ignore. They sense when you become quieter, when you pull back, when you are trying to hide what you feel. And instead of forcing you to explain everything immediately, they choose patience. They choose kindness. They allow their presence to create comfort before asking for answers. That is why this kind of love feels healing. It does not only react to what you do, it responds to who you are. When someone only loves based on actions, that love can become uncertain. It feels strong when everything is going well, but disappears when life becomes difficult. But when someone loves the person beneath the actions, something different happens. The connection becomes calmer. It becomes stronger. It becomes safer. It says, you matter here. Not because you always have everything together, not because you never struggle, not because you are always happy, but because you are yourself. Stay with this thought because this is where many people finally understand why some relationships never felt peaceful before. A healthy connection does not make you constantly prove your value. It allows you to breathe. This person may have experienced pain too. They understand that someone who has carried emotional weight for years does not always need someone to give answers. Sometimes they need silence. Sometimes they need understanding without questions. Sometimes they need a moment to simply exist without pretending everything is okay. They want to be that calm presence in your life. They imagine a relationship where happiness and healing can exist together, where laughter can live beside difficult conversations, where struggles do not destroy the connection but create a deeper understanding between two people. If a part of your heart still hopes that someone can choose you because of who you are, rather than because of what they can receive from you, then listen carefully to this part. They imagine a future that feels peaceful instead of confusing, a future without constant doubt, emotional games, or endless uncertainty. They imagine a connection that feels stable, honest, and real. They think about normal everyday moments with you, and somehow those simple moments become meaningful. A warm drink waiting for you in the morning, a thoughtful message during a busy day, a quiet conversation after everything feels overwhelming, a comforting presence when your thoughts become too heavy. They imagine sharing responsibilities instead of keeping a list of who does more. They imagine facing problems together instead of becoming enemies during difficult seasons. They imagine creating a life where both people feel respected, supported, and truly understood. They are not searching for a perfect relationship because perfection does not exist. They are looking for consistency. They are looking for effort. They are looking for two people who continue choosing each other even when life becomes complicated. And that is what makes this vision so powerful. It is not built on unrealistic dreams. It is built on commitment. It is built on small actions repeated every day. Because real love is not only found in dramatic moments or unforgettable promises. Real love appears in patience. It appears in loyalty. It appears in the decision to remain present when things are not easy. This person wants to offer that kind of love to you. Not because they believe you cannot handle life alone, not because they think you are weak or incomplete, but because they see someone who is worth standing beside, someone worth growing with, someone worth protecting, someone worth loving with honesty and depth. And the more they understand your story, the more their feelings become stronger. They notice the wounds you rarely talk about. They notice the disappointments that change the way you trust. They notice the experiences that taught you to protect your heart, but they also notice something beautiful beneath all of that. They notice hope. They notice kindness. They notice a heart that still wants connection even after everything it has faced. And that is the part they value the most, not because it is perfect, but because it is genuine. In a world where many people hide behind appearances, your honesty stands out. Your resilience stands out. Your ability to keep moving forward stands out. Every time they see those qualities, they become more certain about what they want. They do not want a temporary feeling. They do not want a short moment of excitement that disappears later. They want something meaningful, something that grows slowly, something that becomes stronger with time. They want a partnership where both people can become better together, a relationship where both hearts can heal, a future where both people feel comfortable enough to show their true selves. And when they picture that future, they picture it with you, not because you are without flaws, not because every day will be easy, but because they believe some people are worth choosing completely. Some people are worth showing up for again and again. And in their heart, you are one of those people. The kind of connection where silence does not feel like distance. It feels like peace. It feels safe. It feels like two people who no longer have to pretend. It is the kind of home where your mind and heart can finally relax because love no longer feels temporary. It no longer feels like something that could disappear without warning. They want to face problems with you, not fight against you. They want to build daily habits that create comfort, trust, and emotional security for both of you. They are not only interested in the exciting moments, the celebrations, or the memories that look beautiful from the outside. They want the normal days too, the quiet mornings, the simple conversations, the ordinary routines that slowly create a life together. And that reveals something important. because shallow love often focuses only on the highest moments. Real love understands the value of everyday care. It asks deeper questions. How can I make this person's life lighter? How can I protect their peace? How can I become someone whose actions create trust without them having to constantly ask for reassurance? That is the kind of future they imagine with you. A future that is steady, faithful, peaceful, and still full of warmth and passion. A love that feels exciting but also safe. And if you are still here, maybe a part of you already understands this truth. Stability is not dull. Stability is a gift. Stability is what allows a tired heart to finally breathe, relax, and believe that it does not always have to prepare for pain. They can sense that much of your hurt did not come from only one moment. It came from many experiences. It came from feeling unseen again and again, from giving your best while receiving uncertainty in return, from staying committed while someone else remained unsure, from hoping someone would finally choose you fully, openly, and without hesitation, only to experience distance, confusion, or changing feelings. They understand how draining that must have been. They see how those experiences shaped the way you protect yourself today. They understand why part of you stays prepared for disappointment, why you sometimes hold your feelings back, why you hesitate before trusting completely, why being loved can feel beautiful and frightening at the same time. They know that your heart learned to be careful because it had reasons to do so. And instead of criticizing those protective parts of you, they respond with patience. They do not look at your fears and decide you are too difficult. They do not ask you to become a different person just to make love easier. They simply want the chance to love you with honesty. They want their actions to match their words. They want to bring consistency where you once experienced uncertainty. They do not want you spending your nights wondering where you stand. They do not want you changing yourself just to keep someone close. They do not want your heart collecting another memory of being abandoned or forgotten. They want to love you in a way that slowly shows you something new. That closeness can be peaceful, that trust can grow, that someone can stay because they genuinely want to stay. Stay with this thought, because this is where things become deeper. Sometimes the hardest part of receiving healthy love is not finding it. It is accepting it. This kind of love does not only come into your life to comfort you, it also gently invites you to open the doors you once had to close. Not suddenly, not by force, not before you are ready, but slowly, with time. It asks you to allow someone to see more than the strong version of yourself, more than the person who handles everything alone. More than the person who always says, "I'm okay." It asks to meet the real you, the version that is still healing, the version that still has fears, the version that sometimes expects love to disappear the moment it starts feeling safe. Because pain teaches people to prepare for loss before love even has the opportunity to grow. Pain teaches you to stay guarded. It teaches you to hold back a little. It teaches you to keep part of your heart protected because you do not want to experience the same hurt again. You learn to love carefully because you are afraid of losing deeply. But the person we are talking about is not building a connection with the intention of leaving. They are building it with the intention of staying, and that difference can completely change the way love feels. It changes the way your body responds around someone. It changes what silence means. Silence no longer feels like rejection. It feels peaceful. It feels comfortable. It feels like two people who do not need constant proof because trust already exists between them. It changes what a simple evening together represents. It becomes a moment where you can finally stop performing and simply be yourself. It changes how deeply you rest when you know the person beside you is not searching for perfection. They are searching for your truth. So if you have spent years living in survival mode, always watching for signs that something might go wrong, remember this. Safe love may feel unfamiliar in the beginning. It may feel unusual. It may even feel uncomfortable because your heart is learning something it has not experienced before. But unfamiliar does not mean dangerous. Sometimes unfamiliar simply means new. Sometimes new is the first step toward healing. And the deepest healing does not always happen when we are alone. Sometimes healing begins when we experience a relationship where we no longer have to defend every emotion, explain every silence, or prove why we deserve care. Sometimes healing begins when someone chooses to stay close enough for your heart to finally believe that love can be calm, consistent, and real. Healing often happens through a safe connection. Through a relationship where you are accepted without criticism, supported without being controlled, and loved without someone trying to change who you are. That is the kind of love this person wants to bring into your life. Not a perfect story without struggles, not an unrealistic dream where nothing ever goes wrong, but something much more valuable: real presence, honest care, a steady heart that remains beside yours through every chapter, every challenge, and every season. They want to understand the full person you are, not only the version everyone else sees. They want to know your past, your fears, your quiet achievements, the things you do when you are exhausted, the silence you enter when life feels overwhelming, and the softness you reveal when you finally feel safe enough to stop protecting yourself. And the beautiful thing is, they do not step away from those parts. They move closer. Their love may be quiet, but quiet does not mean weak. It is strong like a tree with deep roots. It does not need constant attention or dramatic displays to prove its existence. It grows slowly. It becomes stronger with time. It stays. This kind of love reveals itself through simple moments that eventually become unforgettable. A message asking how you are without needing a reason. Remembering the things that make your days harder. Noticing when your energy feels low. Protecting your peace when you are too tired to explain what you need. Helping you without making you feel like you owe something in return. Making your life feel a little lighter in ways that may seem ordinary but mean everything to a heart that has carried heavy responsibilities for a long time. That is why this connection can feel so powerful. Not because it creates constant excitement, not because it is filled with dramatic moments, but because it is reliable. And reliable love is one of the greatest gifts someone can experience. They are attracted to your strength, but not because they want to compete with it. They are drawn to it because your strength tells a story of everything you survived. They know there were moments when you had to continue even when you felt tired. They know there were sacrifices nobody noticed. They know there were days when you held yourself together with nothing except courage and determination. And because they understand that, they do not want to add more weight to your life. They want to become someone who helps carry it. They want your life with them to feel like relief. They want peace to become something normal, not something you only experience after reaching complete exhaustion. They want to recognize your tiredness before you even have to explain it. They want to share responsibilities with love instead of creating more pressure. They want to support you in practical ways that protect your heart and your energy. This is not love that only exists through beautiful words. This is love that appears through consistent behavior. It is shown in the small choices people make every day. It continues long after the excitement of something new begins to fade. Because real love is not only something you feel, it is something you practice. They understand that opening your heart is not a weakness. They understand that allowing someone to truly see you requires incredible courage. They know trust is not something people should demand, it is something they must earn. And they want to prove they are worthy of that trust every day, not only when things are easy. If these words are connecting with something inside you, do not ignore that feeling. Sometimes your heart notices something meaningful before your mind has the words to explain it. Stay with this thought because the next part may be the reminder you have needed for a long time. They do not imagine marriage as only one special day filled with celebration. They imagine it as thousands of small moments where two people continue choosing each other. They imagine peaceful mornings beside you. They imagine holding space for you when old memories return. They imagine being the calm voice when your thoughts become overwhelming and the steady support when life suddenly feels heavy. They picture the simple miracles, a quiet morning together, a shared routine, a look across the room that silently says, "I am here with you." A home where your heart does not need to stay on guard. A relationship where love does not disappear the moment life becomes difficult. They want to become the reason your shoulders slowly become lighter, the reason your breathing becomes calmer, the reason you stop feeling like you always need to prepare for disappointment. Not because they promise a life without problems, nobody can promise that, but because they offer something more realistic and meaningful, a consistent love, a caring love, a truthful love. They want their actions to answer the fears you have carried for years before those fears even need to speak. And yes, this type of love is uncommon. It requires understanding. It requires patience. It requires emotional strength and the ability to value peace more than control. It requires someone who chooses genuine connection over appearances. But something being rare does not mean it cannot exist. It means it is valuable. It means it deserves attention. It means when you find it, you protect it. If you have stayed until this moment, maybe a part of you already feels why these words reached you. Maybe something inside you is beginning to understand that the love you once thought was impossible may actually be the kind of love your heart has always needed. So remember this clearly. You are not too difficult to love. You are not too complicated to understand. You are not invisible.